Hey, what's up guys, Steven here, and this is my review of the Sony Xperia Z5. So let's get directly started. So the Sony Xperia Z5 is the bigger brother of the Z5 Compact, which I reviewed in my last video. There's a link down below in the description if you want to check it out. So the Z5 comes with a 5.2-inch display, which is bigger than the Z5 Compact, and also features a higher resolution. It's full HD and it has 428 pixels per inch. It's an IPS panel and it's also quite bright, so 170 candelas per square meter. Now regarding the CPU, so it's a Snapdragon 810, we all know that processors are really powerful, probably one of the best you can get right now. Tends sometimes to overheat, this is a new revision, only gets a bit hot during 4K recording. Then it comes with 32GB of ROM and 3GB of RAM, so you should have enough space. You can also use microSD cards to extend your internal memory. Further, it comes with a 2900 mAh battery. It's non-removable and the battery life is not as good as I've expected. It has IP68 certification, that means it's waterproof and dustproof, but Sony still says don't use it underwater, so if you accidentally drop it into a pool, it's okay, just grab it out, but don't use it underwater. Now it comes with Gorilla Glass 4 protection, at least I think it comes with that, so not really sure, every website is saying something different, but it's quite scratch resistant, as I will show you a bit later. Then it comes with a 23 megapixel rear camera featuring a Sony XMOS sensor, and it has a very fast focusing time, so it's around 0.03 seconds, so really fast and pretty accurate. Picture quality quite okay. Front facing camera has 5 megapixels. You can shoot full HD videos with the front facing camera and 4K with the rear camera. So that are basically the main features, and now let's get directly started and let's have a closer look at the Z5. So there we go, here's the Z5, and the first feeling in my hands was like 5.2 inches feels like a pretty comfortable size. Coming from the Z5 Compact, it feels a little bit big in the first moment, but you really get used to it. Now it has kind of thin bezels, you have softer buttons at the bottom, still there's a lot of space at the bottom, but the device itself, it's not too thick, so it's kind of thin. You will find the dimensions down below in the description, and it just feels pretty good in my hands. So let's talk about the body here a little bit and all the features from the outside. So the Z5 is available in different colors. I've got here that green version here. I think it looks pretty cool, so looks kind of different than the average smartphone. And let's get started here with the front size. So the display resolution is higher than on the Z5 Compact because it's also bigger, so instead of 4.6 it's 5.2 inches and it's full HD. Still you have a higher pixel density, so the display on the Z5 looks definitely better than on the Z5 Compact, at least in my opinion when I just look at the display. So we have softer buttons, there are no capacitive touch buttons on the Z5. And we have front dual speakers, which is really cool. So you get stereo sound if you do media playback on YouTube. And that's a really cool thing. So the bezels here, as you can see on each side, around 2 millimeters. At the top, there's a notification LED on the right side. It lights up when you charge it, when you get notifications, and it's also multicolor. In the middle, we have the Sony logo and the front-facing camera, which is 5 megapixels, all along with light and proximity sensor. Then now, let's turn it around, let's have a look at the back side. So also this phone is quite robust. Now, I dropped the Z5 Compact several times, the glass didn't break, so I think maybe it's calling Gorilla Glass 4 or some kind of hardened glass. The back side here, we have the NFC logo, phone features NFC, we have the Sony logo, Xperia at the bottom. Then the LED flash is kind of weak, so I wish that the LED flash would be a little bit stronger, but we'll do a test later anyway. The 23 megapixel camera, so the rear camera, has a very big lens but does not stick out of the device, which I think is pretty good and gives the device a superior feeling, because I really hate it when the camera is coming out of the device. Okay, let's have a look at the frame. Now one of the superior features of the Z5 is actually that power button. The power button here, it's a hardware button, but also featuring a fingerprint scanner. So first of all I was like, this is probably a crappy way to unlock it, but you really get used to it because you always have your thumb on the right side. All you have to do to unlock it is just press the button here, put your finger on there, and then you will be able to unlock it. And we'll do a test later, so it feels really comfortable. Now what I don't like so much is that the volume rocker here is at the bottom of the frame, so it feels kind of strange if you want to adjust the volume and you're searching for the volume keys at the top. Then here we have a camera button. One cool thing is that it has also some kind of mid function. So you can press it halfway down to focus, and then you press it fully down to take a picture, which I think is very good and gives you the feeling like you would have a camera in your hands. The top of the frame, it comes with a 3.5mm headphone jack, all along with a little hole which is the top microphone. So this phone, like most of the top smartphones, has two microphones for noise cancellation. Now at the bottom of the frame there should be another microphone. You actually can't see it, so there's no visible hole, but I guess it's in here or probably inside of the speaker somewhere. Now here we have the micro USB port. There is no USB Type-C, even though this is a flagship device from Sony, but well, probably on the latest Xperia smartphones this year we'll see USB Type-C, I'm pretty sure. And here you can see a mount for a sling, for instance, if you want to attach it to your belt or you just want to have a sling, but I don't use that at all. Now on the left side of the frame we have the Simca Tray / micro SD card tray. So I will now just quickly open it up. You can easily do that with your fingernail, and there we go. Also at the bottom there's the Xperia logo, and yeah, it has a seal inside, so this is also waterproof and dustproof, but always make sure that the flap is closed, otherwise yeah, this is not waterproof. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the slots. As you can see, you can put in one nano SIM card and one micro SD card. Micro SD cards up to 200 GB are supported. I'm pretty sure actually that a 256 GB memory card will also work, so just try it out, guys. So far I've only used 64 GB and it works like a charm. Alright, so that's the tray. The battery is non-removable and the back cover is non-removable too. So that's the phone from the outside, and now I would say let's talk about the charging accessories and also let's talk a little bit about the battery life. So now it's time to talk about the battery. So Qualcomm's Quick Charge 2.0 in the Xperia Z5 is just outstanding. So you can charge your smartphone pretty fast. Now you can charge it up to 20% in around 15 minutes, then we were able to get 25% in like almost 20 minutes, 40% in like half an hour, and up to full charge, so from 0 to 100%, it took around 1 hour 48, 1 hour 50 in our two tests. So that's pretty good. You can fully charge it within 2 hours, so 1 hour 50, and the battery life you get out of it, so it's around 5.5 hours in Geekbench, so I was able to get like 5 hours of on-screen time, which is okay. But the battery life, for instance, on the Galaxy S6 I had, it was better, even though it features a more high-end resolution display. But so far I have to say the battery life is okay, but I wasn't able to get through 2 days, so I just could use it for around 1 day. So there we go, we're now here in Android 5.1.1, so there's no Android Marshmallow on the Xperia Z5 yet, but probably there will be an update, so at least I did read somewhere that it will be definitely updated to Android 6, and yeah, it's a flagship device, so it will be. Alright, so you can see here the menu, the launcher and everything, so the UI is really smooth here with the Snapdragon 810 and 3GB of RAM, so this is really top of the notch performance. We can quickly go here to the settings so I can show you all the features you can find here. And there we go. So there are really a lot of settings to adjust. I will just get down the brightness here a little bit so you can read it better. And here we go. So first of all, we have here Wi-Fi at the top. The Wi-Fi signal on the Xperia Z5 is very good. So here you can see I'm connected to my office network, getting the full speed. It's 2.4 GHz, but it also supports 5 GHz. We have a good signal strength. You can see here it also finds other Wi-Fis. So if I take a random China phone, it will probably not even find the other networks here. So the Wi-Fi signal, I'm very pleased so far and works really good. We have here Bluetooth, as you can see. Also it finds here all my Bluetooth devices, so Bluetooth is working really good. Used here a couple of Bluetooth speakers like the UE Boom. Let's go back here. We have here also NFC inside, so it supports Android Beam, Tap and Pay and all that. We have different themes, so the Xperia devices are really customizable and that's really easy, so even if you have no clue about Android, you can change the colors within a second here in the theme settings, and you can also download different themes from the market there. Okay, so here we have display settings, nothing fancy actually in there. It supports, for instance, glove modes, but double tap to wake up because a lot of people like that. So you don't have to root the smartphone, install some apps for that, double tap to wake up is integrated. Let's have a look here at the storage settings. So it's 32 GB. Right now I have only around 9 GB left. So 30 GB is really good. I wouldn't be able to live with 16, but the good thing is you can extend your memory up to 200 GB more with micro SD cards. Now the Z5, just as previous Xperia devices, supports stamina mode. This helps you to save battery. Now, as I've told you, I was able to get a little bit more than 5 hours of on-screen time, so also in Geekbench. And there are different stamina modes. So extended standby, which just switches off, for instance, Wi-Fi in standby, or there is extended usage. And this is, for instance, it throttles down the CPU and closes some background applications or something like that to save battery life. There's also ultra ultra stamina mode. In order to use that, you have to reboot your smartphone. So actually it will just close the whole UI, then just starts a different UI with other features. So you won't be able to use mobile network anymore, but you can still access the camera, use smart features, and you will get pretty good battery life. So in ultra stamina mode, for instance, it says 6 days. Now, just to be honest, probably not. Also, it depends on your screen brightness, so there are really many factors influencing the battery life. You can see here with normal stamina mode, for instance, it says here 1 day and 3 hours in standby or 12 hours of estimated battery time, with 55% of the battery left, so just to mention that. Here the battery usage, so you can see how fast you can charge it actually. So here the peak and around 5 hours of on-screen time. So this is what I can say about my usage and the Z5. Okay, here we have apps, so let's check this out. We can check out here apps running in the background to get an idea of the memory consumption of the whole UI. This is pretty a lot, so 1.8 gigabytes are used and only 1 gigabyte free. On the Z5 Compact with 2 gigabytes, and if you run a game, you can pretty fill up the 2 gigs. But here you can see we are already scratched at 2 gigs and still just 1 gigabyte left. The phone itself, it didn't come with a lot of bloat, but it came with some PlayStation apps and some Sony stuff pre-installed. Alright, so we have tap and pay, as you can see, GPS. For sure it's multi-language, there's the full Android language pack, so you really don't have to worry about that. All languages are here inside, that's pretty good. Let's go back, guys. Yeah, that's everything you can find in here. Last but not least about the phone, so here's software update. Probably you'll also get here the update to Marshmallow, or you have to do it on the computer, not sure right now. And here you can see, right now it's running Android Lollipop, so no Android Marshmallow right now, but it will be in the future. Okay guys, so that's everything here in the settings. Now let's have a quick look here at the UI. You can see here the Android status bar, so this looks very close to stock, as you can see. No ugly customization. We have the brightness slider. Display is very bright at maximum brightness. By the way, I just forgot to tell you that display looks pretty good, so really sharp. It's very bright and has really great viewing angles, and the colors also. So it's an IPS, not an AMOLED panel, but looks very good in my opinion. Okay, we have here quick toggles for everything, so the usual stuff: Wi-Fi, mobile data, GPS, the flashlight, and also GPS and cast screen. Okay, then let's go back here to the UI. So we can switch here through the pages a little bit. You see that's very smooth. Let's go here to the menu, and you see it came with some stuff pre-installed. I think Amazon, all that was also pre-installed, some PlayStation applications. But all in all, very clean, not so much bloat than on Samsung devices. Now let's have a look at the first important application, which is the camera application. So let's talk a little bit about the camera of the Sony Xperia Z5. The camera is quite good, so it didn't fully meet my expectations, just like on the Z5 Compact. The problem is that the camera produces awesome pictures if you have good lighting. But as soon as you have bad lighting conditions, it gets really noisy. So the noise levels are quite high. I mean, it still looks okay, and it's a top camera. And you'll find sample pictures on China devices. You can also see some of them right now on the screen. But it's not as good as I've expected. But it really comes down to personal preference. For some people it looks really awesome. Some people will say the camera is average. Now sometimes which kills the whole Sony camera experience a little bit is the application. So sometimes the camera application is really slow, and sometimes I had focusing issues. Like I wanted to take close-ups, I was like focusing, it was sharp, I took a picture, it got blurry. I have no idea why, but the focus is pretty fast, and I'm pretty sure it will get fixed soon with an update too. So just check this out, we can focus here on the can, now the background, can, background, can, background, can, background, and that's really fast. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the camera application. Now all in all, the camera application is good, but sometimes a bit slow. So let's take a picture. Here you can see it. It takes some time to actually capture and save the picture. Same goes for videos. If you record a video and then you hit the save button, it can take really some time until it has saved the video. Okay, so we're here in auto mode. For sure, there's manual mode, so you can adjust all the settings like white balance, ISO, resolution. By the way, it's 20 megapixels in 16:9, and it's 23 megapixels in 4:3. So native here, for instance, 16:9 in 8, and you get the full megapixels only in 4:3. Okay, so let's close this. That were the camera settings. We can go here to auto settings, so basically all you have to do is just press the shutter button. Here for instance we can also press the camera button all along the frame. You gently press it to focus, and then you hold it down to take the picture. So this really feels like on a digital camera, and this is something I really like on the Z5. Okay, that's auto mode. We can also have a look here at video mode, and there we go. And here you can see in the settings that the video resolution maximum is Full HD 60 FPS. Now you'll wonder, where's 4K? So 4K can be activated in a different spot, and this is here under camera apps, and here we have 4K video. When you start 4K video, you will get the message, if the device temperature rises, the app may close during use. So we'll later do a quick heating test. The Z5 Compact did heat up to around 42 degrees, so on the outside, when we did 4K recording. Also the Z5 here gets hot, probably not even as hot as the Z5 Compact, but you will see it just in a second. Okay, we can switch quickly here to the front-facing camera. So it's me, hello guys, it's a really nice wide angle, it has great colors. Just check out the green screen, everything here looks really tasty with auto settings. Now what you can see here, we have 5 megapixels in 4:3, in 16:9 it drops down to 3.7 megapixels. And in video mode, for instance, we have to switch here. You will see that the maximum recording dimension is Full HD, so it produces pretty awesome Full HD video. So if you like it for selfie videos, then I can say go for it, it's not bad at all. Alright, let's switch back here to the rear camera. Now here we have different camera apps. What's pretty cool is the AR effect. So what you can do is, for instance, you can put in dinosaurs in your video, so you will have then some kind of holographic thing in your picture, and there are different things to download like sheeps, Mickey Mouse, Hello Kitty. So you will find some sample pictures down below in the description, make sure you check them out. So you can do pretty cool stuff, and it's also nice for kids or just to have fun with friends. Okay, you see other camera apps, it has creative effects, panorama mode, HDR, multi-camera, picture-in-picture, live on YouTube, even here from the camera application. So the basic camera application is something I really like. So it's very good and you have a lot of features. So you can be really creative with all the effects and the opportunities in the camera application.
Guys, Stephen and Flo here, and we are about to arrive in New York. We had a very pleasant flight. We just got an upgrade to business class here, super lucky, and have big plans for the next week and the upcoming year. Hey, what's up guys, Flo here, and I'm back for another unboxing. Today I'm going to unbox the fresh glazed donuts here. I just have to try them. So let me open up the box.
Get me one too.
The shape is really good. Stephen is taking
fucking
one as well.
Awesome.
No, I just try. How do you use them actually?
I think you have to put your tongue through that hole here.
No, you don't.
Läuft? Ja.
Das Video.
Alright boys and girls, that was the camera quality. In my opinion, pretty good. Didn't fully meet my expectations. 4K videos look really good. You've seen the footage here from Las Vegas, it looks kinda nice. But this device heats up a little bit during 4K recording. At the end, after the benchmarks, we'll do a quick heat up test. So let's quickly stick here with the UI and let's have a closer look at that. As you can see, basic launcher here once again. And the cool thing is, I haven't installed many of those applications. So I was actually using a Sony Xperia phone before, and with NFC, if you activate that for the first time, you can actually transfer the data to your new smartphone. So we'll then just get all the applications, and that's pretty cool. So if you're upgrading from an old Sony Xperia, you don't have to set up a lot, so just grab the data from your old one. And yeah, it's just like a normal Android phone. We have the latest version of the Play Store. It's blazing fast, and I would say let's jump directly in. Let's do the benchmarks. Let's do a movie test, speaker test and all that, and then we'll do the heat up test. Here's a quick look at the the Fingerprint Scanner, which is implemented into the home button on the right side of the frame, so I forgot to show you that, but let's check it out. So I'm currently registering a fingerprint, and there we go, almost done. So this is my third fingerprint. You can register up to 5 fingerprints, and to improve the accuracy you should register your thumb at least 2 times. Okay, as you can see, use fingerprint to unlock the device. I will now show you how that works. So now here we have the black screen. Now you press the power button, you keep holding it, and it's unlocked. So that works really good. If I try it with another finger, for instance here with this one, and as you can see it's not unlocked, I put my thumb on there and it's unlocked. So the fingerprint scanner works absolutely good. It has like 95% pass-fail ratio, so works pretty good. Sometimes it's not recognized if you have sweaty fingers, but yeah, most of the time it works for me, and the unlocking process is really fast. So I absolutely love the fingerprint on the Sony Xperia Z5. So here's a quick speaker and movie test on YouTube. No copyright sounds, movie playback on the Z5, absolutely smooth. Basically it eats everything, full HD, even 4K files from my SD card. So the Snapdragon 810 with the GPU and also with 3 GB of RAM has really good performance, so it handles everything. Regarding the speaker quality, dual speakers, so it's like stereo sound, and it sounds different than on the Z5 Compact because the distance between the speakers, it's bigger, and for me it gives it a better stereo experience, so I feel more like immersed like on the Z5 Compact. Now I can just hit the play button, just listen for yourself, so in my opinion the speaker doesn't sound too bad at all, so it sounds actually pretty good. We have 2 of them, one here at the top, one at the bottom. And at maximum volume, so far in this application here, there's no oversteering from some files on the SD card. Yeah, at maximum volume there was a bit of oversteering, but still sounds very good in my opinion. Just listen for yourself, guys. Here's a quick LED flash test of this device, and there we go. Let's switch on here the flashlight. Then as you can see it's a little bit yellow, so it's not some cool white tone, it's some warm white, and it's not really strong, so I can look directly into it. It only hurts a little bit in my eyes, so I've definitely seen stronger LEDs. And also it's not a dual one, so it's a single one, a kind of small one, and I'm not so impressed by the LED flashlight. We can quickly open up the camera application, so I can for instance show you how it looks. As we can see, the lens can catch a lot of light. That's pretty good. We can switch here to the superior auto mode, and there we go. Let's take a picture. We just have to switch on the LED flash, so let's just go here to auto. You see it has red eye reduction, torch mode, or fiddle flash, and there we go. So let's take a picture, and here's the picture. Now it depends how far your object is away from you, so I would say up to half a meter the LED flash is strong enough, but as you can see also here background, so it's not too strong, but it gets the job done. Oh yeah, it's benchmark time. Let's have a look at the performance of the Sony Xperia Z5, and it scores 78,000 points here in Antutu. So let's have a look here at the ranking. Now here you can see the Z5 is normally ranked at 76, so this one here scores right now a little bit better, probably because, well, not so many background applications. You see it's very close to the HTC One M9 and the OnePlus 2. OnePlus 2 actually almost same specs, just the software optimization is a bit better here than with the Sony UI. Okay, you can see here Android 5.1.1, 64-bit support, full HD resolution display. Rear camera says here only 8.3, but this is because probably 16:9 or whatever, so wrong detection, but it's 23 megapixels. The GPU is the Adreno 430, which is very powerful, and yeah. Let's just close it. Let's have a look here at Geekbench. In Geekbench it gets a very good multi-core score of over 4,000. Also the single core score is quite good 1,350. And here you can see once again some of the specs, 2.73 gigs of RAM. Well, there we go. Let's have a look at CPU-C. And there we can see the Snapdragon 810, so runs up to 1.96 gigahertz, so with the maximum clock. And we can also have a look here at the device info. So what you will see here on the system is that there is no root access. So you can root the smartphone, there's several tutorials on XDA, but it does not come pre-rooted. Battery, nothing fancy in here, and here you can see the temperatures. So also here from the inside there are a couple of sensors, so it keeps quite cool, so less than 40 degrees even after benchmarking on a quick gaming test. And here you can see a lot of sensors, so we'll also quickly check them out in sensor box. Before we do that, probably the multi-touch tester. It's a 10-point capacitive touchscreen. That means you can use 10 fingers at the same time, which is pretty good. You won't need 10 at the same time, but it's pretty good that it's supported. Here you can see the sensor box, so we can check out all the sensors of the Z5. Accelerometer, light sensor, orientation sensor, proximity sensor. It comes with a working gyroscope. You see that's very responsive, very good. So for VR headsets, this phone performs also quite well. It comes with a magnetic sensor, which is working, and it even comes with a pressure sensor. So here you can see the pressure, so the air pressure here in millibars. Okay, sound sensor, the microphone, well, for sure, that's also working. Then last but not least, the speed test. So I finally have 4G LTE and we can do the test again. But here you can see my old results, so I have a 50 Mbit contract maximum, and as you can see I come pretty close to the 50 Mbits. Regarding the signal quality now, I'm on the outside of Vienna, so the signal here is not really good. Has nothing to do with the smartphone, also with other smartphones. I don't get a really good signal here on LTE, but yeah, just check out the speed, so I would say they're quite okay. And here once again the speed test, so I get more upload speed on my smartphone than I have download speed on my desktop computer, so this is actually really impressive. Alright guys, so that were the benchmarks and everything. Then now let's do a quick gaming test and then let's see how the Snapdragon 810 heats up when we do 4K recording. Gaming on the Z5 is a real pleasure. So I'm currently playing here Asphalt 8 and the frame rate and also the graphics here is just stunning. So the Z5 has a full HD display, so higher resolution than the Z5 Compact, but the frame rate is still as good. Or I don't see any FPS drops now. The Snapdragon 810 with the Adreno GPU and 3 gigs of RAM performs really good in all 3D games. So it doesn't matter if you play Asphalt 8, Riptide, Nova, Modern Combat 5. So you will have fun in all of those games. So I would say let's quickly switch to Modern Combat 5 and let's see how this performs. Now also other graphic intense games like Modern Combat 5 here run really smooth. So on full HD, I mean, just have a look at the textures. This looks damn beautiful. So everything is ultra sharp and there we go. So just check out here the explosion. Not really a lag, so it looks absolutely great. Also here shooting. So on some smartphones it's really hard to aim, but here on the Z5 for instance, if you play shooters, it's really a pleasure to play because aiming is smooth as pie. And there we go, so let's shoot him. So there are no FPS drops in Modern Combat 5, even if you just move out of the balcony there, where you can see a lot of stuff. So the gaming performance on the Xperia Z5, if you're a gamer, you don't have to worry about that. You will be able to play every game released right now and probably also all games released in the future. So guys, we're now checking out the surface temperature of the backside of the Z5 before we start 4K recording. So currently it's around 30 to 34 degrees here near the camera. So here's the chipset, it's a bit more hot here in this area, but it's below 40 degrees. I will now start 4K recording and then we're going to see how it heats up. Now after recording in 4K for a couple of minutes, the device got really hot near the camera, so 43 degrees, and this just after a couple of minutes. So when you continue like 15 minutes or more, then it can also get up over 50 degrees near the camera, and this is on the outside of the device. Also at the bottom here of the backside it heats up a little bit, 36 degrees, 38 a little bit later, so it can get quite hot, and then it will stop 4K recording to save the device. Didn't really happen to me, so the device did not shut down, but it's pretty cold here now, Austria outside -5, here inside also pretty cool temperatures. So yeah, it can happen that it stops recording. Don't worry, your videos are saved until the point where it stops, so this always works. And yeah, it can get really hot in 4K recording. During gaming it can also get a little bit warm, or I would say hot, but not so much that I would say it's dangerous. And during normal use it absolutely keeps cool, so like 30 degrees, and that's pretty good. So the Snapdragon 810 can still get a little bit hot in this Xperia Z5, but nothing you should really worry about. So guys, we're now here at the end of this review, and here comes my final conclusion about the Sony Xperia Z5. So let's talk about the pros and cons. Pros, definitely the performance. Raw performance is awesome, Snapdragon 810, 3 gigs of RAM, and the gaming performance, very good frame rate. So if you're a gamer, you can go with the Z5, you will get great performance. Next thing, GPS, one of the best GPS signals I've ever seen. The total reception is also pretty good. 4G coverage in my area is not so good, but it has nothing to do with the smartphone. Fingerprint sensor, really accurate, and I love it. Also, I really love the camera button, which has like this half-time press where you can focus, so it really feels like a camera. And last but not least, IP68 certification. So if you accidentally drop it into the toilet, which really happened to me, then better safe than sorry, guys. Okay, let's talk about the cons. Now the battery life, just around a day, 5 hours on-screen time to 5.5 in Geekbench. Camera, didn't really meet my expectations about a Sony camera in a flagship device. Can get a little bit hot, as you've seen in the temperature test during 4K recording. Nothing you should really worry about, but keeping the device cool looks different. And there is no wireless charging also, which I really miss, or at least a connector for a docking station or something like that. But still, this device is really nice, so check it out, guys. Sony Xperia Z5, links are down below in the description. I can definitely recommend it. So I probably will go with the Xperia Z5 Compact because just of the size, but also the Z5 has a pretty good size for actually not so big hands. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice day and see you soon in the next review.